Yes, guys, welcome back to Shootout. Which English club is most likely to win the Champions League? The Champions League is back, and of course, I'm not wearing a Chelsea shirt. I want to get this out the way now before you lose your absolute marbles in the comments. This is a Buriram United shirt from Thailand, all right? So don't worry, this is not competition for the mighty Chelsea. They're not taking my allegiance. But one thing that I would love
Big up
to
the
take
Buriram.
me away,
Sorry.
big up the Buriram United, take me to star number 3. Do you think Chelsea can win it? I think we should start by going through all of the English teams' stage fixtures. But I want to ask you, Eunice, first of all, what do you think of this new format? Because this is the second year now. What do you think?
I'll be real. At first, I didn't like it. Still feels like it's not necessary, but it's a bit of a double-edged sword now. I like that we have more games, but I know more games isn't nice for the players.
No.
I'm a little bit like, yeah, great, more football, but I'm also a little bit like, crap, more football.
It's also me, like, I liked having that before the new year, that the knockouts are the next thing. Like, I don't like how, and this is obviously like a catch-22 double-edged sword again, where it's like, you don't even have the results of whether or not you're through unless you've won like the first 6 games. You've got 6 games until the middle of December. Then you've got 2 more at the start of following year. But 8 games in this group. And we saw last season, doesn't necessarily matter if you win this group stage. But with that being said, it's then still very dangerous to drop points. So what do you think is the play here? Do you think it's possible that we might see teams actually rest players? Because I'm looking through these fixtures now, right? And I think Chelsea have possibly got the hardest, or maybe Man City, all of the English clubs. So we're going to go through them one by one. Should we start with Arsenal? Because there is an Arsenal Athletic Bilbao stream that is coming to Shootout later on today. So set your reminders for that. We're going to be watching that together. Have you got Arsenal's fixtures up, Big Eunice?
Arsenal. Let's do it. So, I actually haven't. I've got Athletic Bilbao. I've got Bilbao. Oh, hang on. I've got it now. The Champions League. The Champions League. Athletic Bilbao, Olympiacos, Atletico Madrid, Slavia Prague, Bayern Munich, Club Brugge, Inter Milan, and the almighty Almaty.
Yep, Dastan Satpayev going to the Emirates, mate, where he's going to score bagloads of goals for Chelsea.
That's going to be hilarious because we know he's going to do that because he's a Chelsea boy, and that's what Chelsea boys do at the Emirates. On the carpet, they dunk on them over there. Well, kind of. We've not done that since Drogba. But anyway, no one needs to talk about that. Arsenal, Athletic Bilbao. I think this is a good start for them. But overall, no, it's not the easiest bunch of games to play. They've got Atletico Madrid that I think will be difficult. Bayern Munich that should be difficult, but I think Arsenal can beat them. Inter Milan that should be difficult. And that's 3 out of the 8 games. The rest, realistically, are okay.
Do you know what? I'm going to make a bold shout here. And obviously, by the end of this video, we're going to talk about which English club will win the Champions League. So stay tuned till the end, because I've got a feeling it might be an English club this year. But I think Arsenal are going to win all 8 of these matches. I know that's bold.
All 8?
That's a ridiculous statement. I think they've got the squad depth now. I look at these and I think the away games, this first one against Bilbao could be very difficult, but I also could see Arsenal scoring 4 or 5 goals, I won't lie. And then looking down the list, Inter Milan, like, are they actually any good? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they really? Like, I know that obviously they've got to multiple finals, but like PSG absolutely slapped them silly. And I think Arsenal might do something similar. I genuinely think Arsenal are going to win all 8 of these games.
That's outrageous.
I'm making the big calls now.
You are making the bit. Yeah, it's shifted. It's normally my job on here, but nah, I don't see it. I don't see it, and why? Because I think the Premier League will come into play. I think that the games and having to manage all of it at the same time, I do think they can go unbeaten, but I think they will draw at some point. Minimum. Okay. Surely. I mean, I can see why you'd think they'd win every game. I can see it. But nah, I think there will be maybe 1 or 2 draws and maybe about 6 wins.
Okay, that'll be a very good group stage for us.
It's still top of the group, yeah.
Yeah, that is very much in the contention to potentially win this group.
Yeah.
Chelsea. I mean, this is in terms of like we've all seen it, we've all been there, we've all done that. Oh, hang on a minute. We have got Bayern Munich away,
Yep.
Benfica at home, Ajax at home. That's a classic after the 4-4 years ago. Karabag away. Bring back Zappacosta, will you? Barcelona at home, Atalanta away, Paphos at home, the return of David Luiz, and a trip to Naples in late January. I think this is very difficult for Chelsea. And even from like scoping this out beyond just winning the Champions League, right? Going to Azerbaijan at the beginning of November on Bonfire Night, like that's just a bloody mission, isn't it? We're closer to Azerbaijan here than Chelsea are. Mate,
this is where we find the team that's going to win all 8 games.
You think Chelsea are going to win all of these?
No, I'm kidding.
No. Hey, I'd have loved that if you'd have managed to somehow rationalise this. I'd have been like, go on then. Tell me how we go to Napoli and win.
No, I can rationalise it. If with a bit of copium here, yeah. What I'm about to say, take very, very lightheartedly. But you do understand all of these opponents that we've got here, who we went through in 2012 for the entire knockout stage. Last 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, and final. Napoli, Benfica, Barcelona, Bayern Munich. We get to play every single one of them again. So that's going to rationalise us beating every single one of them. Then we got Ajax, right? And we're playing at home. So 4-4 is not going to be 4-4 now. It's going to be 4-0. And then all the other games, respectfully, we're just better than them. There you go, 8 wins.
I mean, I'm not gonna counter it. I want nothing more than to have got this one massively wrong. I want to go back to this on Thursday, the 29th of January, and be like, Benson, why did you tell everybody Arsenal were going to win all 8 games when it was actually Chelsea that were going to be the team to beat? But in all seriousness,
yeah.
I want to ask you this, because I've thought throughout the entire summer, having watched us win the Club World Cup, yeah. And yes, I know we played a lot of Brazilian teams in that, but we demolished Benfica in extra time. We absolutely slaughtered Paris Saint-Germain, who are the champions of Europe. And I think Chelsea don't get enough credit for this.
I
PSG,
agree.
5-0 winners against Inter Milan. Chelsea, we literally took them to the slaughterhouse, yeah. Left them inside, tortured them for a little bit. And yeah, let's not disrespect the vegans in the chat, shall we? Wonder how many of them there are. But we were sensational. And I think when it comes to Maresca and what he's good at, it's changing the way that he structures this team dependent on the opposition. And when I look at these fixtures, right, we've got probably Liam Delap will be back for when we host Barcelona. Then he's back for Atalanta, Paphos, Napoli, and that's obviously hoping we don't get any more injuries in between.
Yeah,
I think Chelsea are going to do well.
We should do well. Overall, I think we should do well. We won't win every game, obviously. I'm kidding. In fact, this coming Wednesday, where again we're doing the watch along here for Bayern Munich Chelsea in the flesh, that's gonna be, I think, quite difficult considering the Allianz Arena. But then you look at a lot of these other games, let's be honest, but even Barcelona at the Bridge, that's the biggest test of them all, without question.
Yeah.
And even going to Napoli away under Antonio Conte, that's going to be really difficult. Even I'd go as far as saying Atalanta away is going to be hard.
Yep.
Ajax could have been the same, but those home games, realistically, we should be better than those teams, Ajax included. So it does feel a little, I wouldn't say 50-50, it feels 60-40 or 70-30, in our favour, yeah. I would say. But it's going to be difficult.
I'm just happy we're back in the Champions League. I'm happy that we've got some clear big games, and I know that's obviously what UEFA have tried to do. They've tried to not only get it so that there's more television revenue,
of course,
but they want to get the big teams playing each other. And I mean, what better way, having missed out on the Champions League for so long, than to go to Bayern Munich, the place where we lifted it for the first time? Like, it doesn't get any bigger and better than that.
It's true, it doesn't. These are the fixtures that we missed. These are the fixtures that we should be having every year. Do you know what I mean? Getting to play these sort of teams. This is where we belong. So we need to. Even as fans, we need to not act like we've not been here before. No, we've been here before and we've dominated this scene before. We should act like we know exactly what this is about, because I feel like after a certain period of time, you can find it easy to forget to an extent, and it all feels like really new. We should just honestly go in and be like, no, you know what? Set the tone. But I actually feel like there will be teams that come up against us, and even though this is a new look Chelsea team, I feel like psychologically they will know that Chelsea are capable of beating every single team here. We are capable of beating every team. And in the Champions League, in a cup competition, you should never write Chelsea off. We're just that team that can go all the way, even at 70 or 80%. We can still go all the way. So I think they'll know that, to be honest. I think they'll all know that.
I think you might be right, mate. We'll come back to Chelsea, obviously, in a little bit. We're going to go through all of the teams here. And just look at the fixtures and see what's cracking. So Liverpool, Atletico Madrid at home on Wednesday. First game. Galatasaray away. Listen to these away games for Liverpool. Galatasaray away, Frankfurt away, Inter Milan and Marseille. There are some pretty hectic atmospheres.
I was going to say,
chaotic grounds for Liverpool to go to. Obviously, you've got Ekitike going back to Frankfurt. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold coming back to Anfield, although he seems to be slightly out of favour already at Real Madrid. I look at this and I don't see Liverpool struggling too much, to be honest. I think the home games, obviously PSV at home, they've got Qarabag as well. Qarabag coming to England twice, I think. I think Liverpool are going to do quite well. I think it's when it gets to the knockout rounds that actually talking about the English teams, and obviously we get to Newcastle and Spurs at the bottom, but I think Liverpool should be fine. What do you think?
I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree.
Wow. We got some jeopardy in the chat.
I'll tell you why. I don't know. I can try and justify it, but my gut is telling me Liverpool are going to struggle. My gut's telling me that they're going to come up against certain teams away from home, and it's not going to be plain sailing. And it's those games that you just look. Galatasaray, I think Liverpool should be winning that. But even Atletico Madrid at Anfield, not easy. Real Madrid, I think that's a really interesting tie because Real Madrid don't look unbelievable. And I don't think Liverpool look unbelievable either. So that's a tough one. Inter away at the San Siro, very, very hard game, I reckon, for them. And the rest, Liverpool should be fine. But I think they'll be okay. But I don't think it's going to be plain sailing like everyone expects because of the players that they have on paper. I think as a team, still probably needing a little bit more time, you could say, or maybe a bit more chemistry. So far, what we've seen from Liverpool, they've just not been as good. We've had this conversation in previous videos in terms of Liverpool and where they are and whether they're going to gel later, whether they're going to get better. Maybe as the competition goes on, but I don't think they're gonna start off very, very smooth.
How many wins do they get here then? I'm going to say they get 6.
I'm going with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 sounds about right. 5 or 6.
I mean, that's pretty good going. That's still going to get them through to the knockouts. And obviously, Liverpool last year were the best team, I believe, in the group stages of the Champions League. And then, of course, famously got done over by the eventual winners, Paris Saint-Germain. Man City. Now, this is a big year for them in the Champions League, in my opinion, because I look at these fixtures and I think they're pretty good for City, particularly the home games. I think they'll beat Napoli. I think they'll beat Dortmund, Leverkusen, and Galatasaray at home. And then away, they've got Monaco, Villarreal, Real Madrid, and Bodo Glimt. And I look at all of those, even Bodo Glimt, I look at and think they're actually a really good side on their day. Now, I know, obviously, they've got some good results against some big teams in their European past.
Didn't they beat Man United?
They did,
yeah.
Or not, who knows? But I think City are only going to win 5, which will still probably send them through.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to struggle away this year.
I don't disagree. I think they're actually kind of lucky to be playing the teams that they've got at home. The only big one away is Real Madrid. So the rest away should be straightforward. Monaco, Villarreal, Bodo Glimt. The rest all at home, I can see why. I don't think it's going to be overly impressive, but Man City should be able to get themselves through. I agree.
What about Newcastle? Because Newcastle back in the Champions League. But my question for Newcastle is this the right comp to be in right now? Like, is it actually worthwhile? Because remember, in the Champions League, if you used to come 3rd in the group, you would go down to the Europa League.
Yes.
That's gone. That's gone. Scrapped.
Correctly so, by the way.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't think you should get second chances. If you're there, you should be in it. And then when you're out, you're out. No second chance. But I look at these fixtures for Newcastle. Barcelona at home to start with on Thursday, which, like, that is just massive, isn't it? Like, the Champions League is just the one. But, like, Royal Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium, I think they're from. Benfica at home. Bilbao at home, Marseille away, Leverkusen away, PSV at home, and PSG away. I'm going to say that they've got some favourable home fixtures here, and I still think every game here is going to be hard for Newcastle. I don't look at any of these and think, yeah, I'd really back Newcastle to go and thump Bilbao or go and smash PSV. PSV are a good side. I think Newcastle might struggle, and I'm going to make a bold prediction here, Eunice. I'm going to say that Newcastle only win 3 games out of 8.
I don't think that's so bold. I think that's logical. What I will say is I think a lot of people would look at Newcastle and write them off, right? I wouldn't write them off because I think as much as you can't abandon the Premier League, but I do feel like on a Champions League night, much like the last time they participated, they gave it a really good go. I think they're going to give it a really good go. I think even for the occasion and for what it's worth, the players are going to have that extra, that extra desire. And I think that's going to show and reflect. In fact, I think that's going to hurt them in the Premier League. I think after every single Champions League game, Newcastle will be at their most vulnerable in the Premier League, and that's where they might actually end up dropping points. But when it comes to the Champions League, I do feel there's going to be a sense of extra effort from everyone involved, the crowd, under the light, St. James's. They've got a nice buzz at St. James's, add the Champions League to it, and I feel like that will spur the team and give them that extra mile. But as a consequence, they'll suffer in the Premier League because of it. They just can't maintain the level throughout. So I do think there's going to be games that they win. Logically, they should go to places like Union Saint-Gilloise and they should win. You think that if they were to play against PSV Eindhoven at home, they should win, or even a trip to Marseille, which will be raucous as well. But Newcastle are kind of a bit used to that, I would say. They should be all right, but against the big teams, yeah, they might just not get the job done all the way.
I think there's a very interesting fact that is about all of these Champions League games for the English clubs. All 6 teams that are competing each have a week in the season where they will face a difficult run of opponents in the Premier League and Champions League. Before Arsenal host Bayern in November, they will face Tottenham just before it and then play Chelsea afterwards. So in a week, Arsenal will play Bayern Munich, Tottenham and Chelsea within a 7-day window.
That's their test.
Mental.
That's their test.
That is a real test for Arsenal. And it's also quite similar for Chelsea as we play Barcelona on the 25th of November and then Arsenal that following weekend. Liverpool face Real Madrid and City in the same week at Anfield. And then City will play Man United and then obviously Napoli coming up. That's their hardest ones. And Newcastle face Aston Villa in January, and then they face G. And Spurs have a North London derby before they play. So there's going to be back-to-back big games here. And it'll be interesting to see all of the English clubs during these matches, particularly Newcastle and Spurs, who have their hardest games at the end. Will they already be through? Now, for Tottenham, I think Tottenham have got a very nice draw. Have you got Spurs' fixtures up here?
Yes, I do. So, you're not wrong. Overall, maybe one real top tier game. You could argue two. PSG away and that's it. The other one might be Borussia Dortmund at home. The rest, yeah. Considering that in this present moment, Tottenham have stepped up a gear and have increased in the level, you'd expect them to win all these games, like on paper. But are Tottenham going to do the most Spursy thing that they could possibly do? Which historically they've done, but is this a new Tottenham? Have they turned over a new leaf? After sacking Daniel Levy, have they actually woken up? What's the score at Tottenham? We don't know for this season. But all these teams, Villarreal, Bodo Glimt away, Monaco away, Copenhagen at home, Slavia Prague at home, Eintracht Frankfurt away, those games are winnable for Tottenham.
I think they're going through. I think Spurs have got the nicest run of games they probably could have asked for.
Yeah.
And I also think it's like they've made a very good start to life under Thomas Frank. And that is why I'm actually so nervous to talk about Spurs, be it in a match preview for the Premier League, be it in a review that we did yesterday here on Shootout. Check that one out from the weekend just gone. I left the room when we started talking about Spurs. Couldn't deal with it. I think that the squad that they've put together now, their best 11, is actually really good. And I think if you're Spurs, right, this is the thing that I just find fascinating. Now that Tottenham have actually won a trophy, that Europa League win
Mm-hmm.
Ange, fantastic. Well done. I've never thought I'd see the day where I'm actually doing that, but that's what we said we're going to do on Shootout. We're going to try and give credit where credit is due.
100%.
Do you think it translates into a competition of just a way bigger stature? Do you think that winning feeling, and when you look at these fixtures where they've got a very friendly set of fixtures here in the Champions League, can it actually, pardon the pun, spur them on to bigger and better things? Can Spurs win the Champions League?
No, I don't think win the Champions League. No. All right, everyone calm down. Yeah, I know you won the Europa League. Let's not get carried away, right? but I will say because of that achievement, there will be a sense of respect. I think when Tottenham walk onto a pitch, most of these opponents, even PSG here, will know that they have to take them seriously. If you go back to the Super Cup, when PSG played Tottenham, what happened? Like, if
Very
Tottenham
close.
hadn't just thrown it away in the most Spursy way, this is why I mentioned this at the beginning, well, PSG were this close to actually losing that game. So they know Tottenham are no mugs in that regard.
Yeah.
So I do think whoever they play will respect and will take them seriously. Tottenham, I don't feel like will get eliminated quickly. They will get to the knockout stages, I reckon, but to go all the way, there's two factors here. There will be really strong teams across the board once you get to that position, and I also need to ask about Thomas Frank. He's never been here managing this sort of stature, managing this competition. He's just never done it. This is his first exposure to it. Can he absolutely nail it on the first attempt? You'd think no, but let's wait and see. Got to give the chance.
I've got a big question for you. What is more likely, Tottenham winning the Champions League or Tottenham winning the Premier League?
Can I say none?
You know what? You can probably tell the apprehension in my voice. I'm quite nervous about Spurs now.
You are. You sound like you're shook of them.
Well, I am, because I would always have just it doesn't matter what shirt I'm wearing, short sleeve Buriram United shirt, long sleeve shirt, jumper, sweatshirt, hoodie, coat. I'd always have it there that they just don't win anything and that they are Spurs.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we know what this is like as Chelsea fans because we've won everything, mate. Every trophy there is to win, we've won it. And when you get that feeling of winning, you do just want to do it more.
You do.
And I got this feeling that Tottenham now, they've just got serious players in their team. Do you know what I mean? Like Xavi Simons is a baller.
100%.
There's no if, buts, or maybes about it. Mohamed Kudus is a baller. Thomas Frank, traditionally, look at what he's had at Brentford. Look at how he put together this like cacophony up front of Wissa and Buemo. I just think with Spurs, and the reason I ask about what's more likely, a Premier League or a Champions League, and I'm delighted that you didn't even entertain the idea of any of it.
I can answer it.
It's still sorcery.
I can answer it, to be fair. But, I mean, I just chose not to. But I can give you an answer on that if you want.
I think they're more likely to win the Champions League, but they're not going to.
I agree.
Purely because I think they've got enough squad quality now, I think. If they can keep the players fit, who knows?
There is a thing of, in order to win the Champions League, at the end of the day, as big as it is, it's a cup competition, right? Yep. So you can have that odd team that just does go all the way. And I feel like we've done that maybe once, you could say, where it's like, how the hell did they get here? With the Premier League, you have to be consistent over 38 games. And Tottenham are not there yet. They're just not. So this is why, without question, they would be much more likely to win the Champions League. And I think they proved that by winning the Europa League. Do you see the logic? So, Champions League for sure. But will they? Hopefully not. Sorry, Spurs.
No, absolutely not. No, I just can't entertain this idea.
If that happens, we just can't go back to London. It's as simple. And well, all the Arsenal fans will have to emigrate.
Yeah, no, it would be an absolute disaster just for the world, I think, if Spurs. There's enough bad things going on right now, but that would just be one too many, I'm afraid. That's it. I'm out.
Sorry, Spurs. It's banter.
I think 5 teams will go through, and I think Newcastle might miss out.
Yeah, I reckon.
I like Newcastle. I actually do like them as a football club, so I want them to go through. I'd love to see Newcastle in the knockout rounds. I don't know, play a Paris Saint-Germain and just make St. James's Park an absolute fortress and make it impossible for a team to come and win. Like, I look at players like Joe Linton, Bruno, and I'm like, these are the kind of guys, Sandro Tonali, Like, these are the kind of players that you can take into a big night like that and they can make something happen. But I think without that, it depends on Nick Voltemada. If he becomes like just a kingpin in that team and he just becomes like, I think he'll easily become a cult hero. If he scores goals
100%.
at Newcastle, he'll be loved. And that might be enough to push them out of this group phase. But in terms of the team that are best equipped to
Man
go
United.
all the way.
Oh, sorry.
You're a silly boy, Eunice.
Sorry.
I don't think any Man United fan is going to be watching.
They're not watching. They're not here. They're not here. They can't be. Unless they've got nothing to do.
League team thumbnail, and they're just like, no. Do you know what? We'll let them have this one. No, let's stay over there, please. I'm going to say it, and I want you to tell me I'm wrong. Arsenal.
I agree.
I think Arsenal can go all the way this year.
I have to. You reckon? Hang on. The team that can go all the way, or the team that can just go through the league phase, as in the best performing English league phase team? Or are you talking about to go all the way and win the competition?
Well, I said Arsenal are going to win all 8 games in the group, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, so you reckon to go all the way in the Champions League?
I think Arsenal are going to get to at least the semis this year.
Yeah. No, I reckon. Look, and I'm not just saying this for the sake of saying this. Yeah. I think there's 2. I think there's Arsenal, but again, Arsenal, I agree. They'll probably hit the semis and then they'll get eliminated because it's just. I'll stick to this. I think Arteta cannot take them all the way. I think if they had a proper manager, then I think they would be the most dangerous team in the country. Easily. Because
I think if they had Carlo Ancelotti in charge this season, they'd win it this year.
It'd be a wrap because Arsenal have everything it takes in that squad, and now they've topped up with some really good balance. They've got everything in every department. And some of you may think, oh, maybe he's just got the tinted glasses on. But I also think, and the Club World Cup proved this, you never know what Chelsea are capable of in this competition.
I think so. I think you're right.
We are that team that's just, we're not doing anything. Next thing you know, we're in the semi-final. It's like, oh, okay, sweet. And then next thing you know, we're in the final. Okay, so we win it. Yeah, bloody hell, we've won it. It comes out of nowhere with us. I don't know how we do it.
Based on what we saw in last season's competition, I think that there is an element of ambiguity about the competition now, where traditionally winning the group was a big thing. Now, after what we saw last season, not necessarily, because PSG were very poor in the group stage, and then they had that period from like Christmas onwards where they just clicked into gear under Luis Enrique. And I think the reason this video has been so interesting because I think English club have a really good chance this season. And I know that there's 6 of them, which obviously, like, based on probabilities, makes it more likely that an English club should do well.
Yep.
But I do think it's only a matter of time before, when we look at across history, right? I think there'll be a lot of English winners of the Champions League in the next 25 years. Like, I think we could see maybe like 10 of the next 25. And I know that I'm throwing out stupidity right now. People might be like, Benson,
no, it's not stupid. It's not stupid.
But I think when you look at the money, you look at the spend, you look at the fact that Tottenham went from being a team in the Europa League, finishing 17th. They still won that trophy, and then they've just had a massive summer, and they've got a better manager. I think Chelsea could go all the way. I think you can never write Liverpool out.
True.
I just think Arsenal are the ones for me this year that I see the depth in the squad. I'm nervous about it. I don't like the fact I'm saying this. This is what we do on Shootout. To take the blue tinted glasses off sometimes, or the Buriram glasses for me today.
No, it's true.
I think it's between Arsenal and Chelsea as well.
I think what your point there is a very good one. I want to ask the chat, the comments, let us know what you think. But I do think there's going to be considerably more English winners. And as you said, the money. The disparity between the Premier League and the others is getting larger as time goes on. And I think it's no surprise that Real Madrid, Barcelona, if I'm not mistaken, Juventus were all in favour of playing the Super League. Because I think in the long run, they know and they understand that's their only golden ticket to maintaining a really high income and not falling for traps like FFP and all of that. Whereas the Premier League is just so minted that just TV revenue is enough to be able to withstand any sort of financial pressure. That FFP still applies. But unlike like Liverpool have shown, where they can splash out 500 million, or like Chelsea have shown, where they can spend money by selling a lot as well for considerable fees, the rest of the other leagues just don't have that financial power. So with time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I think that gap is going to get larger. And I think that means the English teams are just going to get better and the others are just going to stay stagnant. I think that means more Champions League winners.
I think you're right, mate. Obviously, we cannot underestimate the brilliance of Barcelona.
Of course.
I think Lamine Yamal is going to be desperate to lift that Champions League. I think PSG, now that they've kind of got that elephant off their back or whatever, I think it's now going to be for them. They're going to be the team to beat again. I still think, despite how easily Chelsea did it in the Club World Cup, I think that should just be praised as being an amazing performance and an amazing managerial showing from Maresca. But I think PSG will be very good. Can never write off Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And Bayern Munich, Olise, Harry Kane, Luis Diaz, I think, is a top Champions League level player. I think he will shine for them. But I still think Arsenal and Chelsea will meet in the semi-finals. That's my big prediction of the day. Forget Arsenal winning 8. It will be Arsenal-Chelsea in the semis in May.
Bloody hell. Can you imagine? We've never faced them in the Champions League either. We played.
We beat them. Wayne Bridge.
Oh yeah, we did. How bloody hell have I forgotten? We were the team to literally stop the Invincibles. I mean, at least at that time, technically, we were the first team in that while to really beat them. You're right. Well, it's been a long time. It's been a very long time since we played Arsenal in the Champions League. Then that would be mental. Chelsea, Arsenal at the Emirates in the Champions League semi-final. Then at the Bridge as well. Bring it on.
Who's going to win the Champions League, Eunice? This is the perfect wrap-up. We've been here.
Who's going to win?
We've said how far. I think Arsenal and Chelsea will be in the semis. Who's going to win the tournament? One team.
Bloody hell. Oh, man. You know, it's difficult when no one's really convinced you. I think right now, man, I want to say I might have to pick a team.
I'm going to change colour of this light to the team that I think is going to win the Champions League.
Okay. This is tough. I'm going to say my gut is telling me this, so just don't take it fully. My stomach's telling me Barcelona.
Okay. The team that's going to win the Champions League this year.
No way.
We're getting number 3.
If we get number 3, firstly, everyone meet Saeed and United in the car park, because we would have officially taken over Man United as an overall better European record, just saying, and build Maresca a statue. If that happens.
And we could shine his head every day outside. I'll do it for free.
Easy. Mate, if that happens, mad.
All right. I think that's it. Wrap us up. Let us know in the comments down below who's going furthest out of all the English clubs. And am I a fool for saying Chelsea are going to win it again? I think we're more likely to do that than win the Premier League. Let us know in the comments down below. See you in the stream tonight. Arsenal, Bilbao. Let's go.